I was so glad to say that I was asked to be here today for this honour and privilege, and it is to talk and to welcome you to this land of my ancestors, the Ngambri people of the Ngunnawal speaking of the Wallabaloo and many others. The respect that I show today is for you being here. It's for you being here to celebrate the lives of those who have gone before us and to think about the issues of how the things that happen in our communities right across Australia and right around the world. I just wanted to say, I've seen some brothers and sisters this morning and I was so happy to know that nobody is forgotten in this conference. My grandfather is known as Black Harry, and his father before him was Onyong. They lived, walked and talked on the beautiful Murrumbidgee River, and that is where my great-grandfather and his father had built this nation, and they did, and they built it to what it is today. I'm representing them, and I'm representing all Aboriginal people from right around Australia to be here today to talk about the issues of suicide prevention, and issues they are. I was brought up on two little Aboriginal missions. One was in a place in New South Wales called Cowra. It was a Randy mission run by mission managers. The other was called, it was another little Aboriginal mission not far from here, in a place called Yass. Believe it or not, that mission was called Hollywood. Yeah. At the best playground on the planet I did. Me and my brothers. That playground was the best. Dead opposite the cemetery. And you know, us kids growing up, you don't understand death. And that playground for us meant that we knew nearly all the names of the families and of course the priests and the nuns. And we play hide and seek. And of course, we attended every funeral. Didn't know who was being buried, but we attended them. And of course, being brought up by the nuns as well, they got fresh flowers every week. You know why, don't you? Somebody really used to give us the flowers from the graves and said, take them over to Sister Pauline. She'll probably need these in the classroom. And our little mission school up on Hollywood always looked bright. So, you know, death to us meant it was a bright place to be. But as you grow older and you're looking at the things that tormented the hell out of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, it was just unbelievable. Stolen generations. I'm also the chair of the Stolen Generations of New South Wales ACT. And every so often I get a call from a person who had been taken from family and who had passed away. It may not have been suicide, but it was part of their lives of not knowing that they let themselves go. And then their children of that horrible knowledge, they're the ones that took the blame. And they did the horrible things. How can we stop this in our country here? It's called shame. And of course we have those things that we can never ever get over. The deaths in custody. We have a lot of strength in our communities. For the first time ever in Australia in 1971, we started up the first Aboriginal medical service in Redfern. And just not long after that, jumping over to 72, we started up the Aboriginal Tent Embassy. Aboriginal people were united. They were a united front. They came from every part of Australia to that tent embassy to believe in the cause of the 1967 referendum that put us on the map of being Australians. We were allowed to vote. So you can imagine the things that happened from then on, of the knowing of how people got on with their lives and tried to look after each other. But the stolen generations didn't leave us much hope. The things that happened to this day, and it's going to happen tomorrow, next week, and it's going to happen in the years to come, cannot be wiped away. We need to help our youth. We need to be there for them, for the generations that are coming up. We have layers and layers and layers of sadness. It's called shame, again. But we struggle on and we count our blessings every day. We count our blessings for our identity to those who have it. But those who don't still count their blessings because they're there sharing their pain. And when there's no one listening, then we know how much that pain has been. Strong families. Everyone must have a strong family. But how can we do that if we don't know who our families were from the atrocities of a government that took families away? I'm here for this welcome, but I wanted to have my say. I have seen everything that you could ever possibly see. I've been to jail cells. I've been into corrections. I've been into all the jails around here. And yet the sadness in their eyes. Grandchildren, their fathers, and their fathers' parents, who really didn't know who they were and where they came from. Can you imagine the pain? The pain of not knowing that you were part and parcel of a race of people that wanted to be assimilated and to be struck off the map of Australia. So the blessings that we ask for every day is to keep us strong, to keep our community strong, and to look after each other, no matter who we are. Suicide does not mean it's racially preferred. Believe me and you, I've seen lots and lots of Aboriginal and non-Indigenous people being together, friends, but yet both have been affected by this horrible, horrible pain of this lost abyss. The bias, that deep, deep, deep one that can take over your body, take over your soul, and your family is left to find out wondering why. We can't always fix the problems, and we won't, because the answers will never ever be known. But to have the strength and the energy that this conference, Suicide Prevention, is here today, hopefully we can make that difference. Because the people who organise this are there for communities, little communities, big communities, cities. It doesn't just happen in one part of a community. But the further you go up north, the worse it gets. We have to know, and we have to learn how the layers of mistrust of governments and the layers of atrocities that we have to forgive. You can't forget, but can a blessing make us feel we've done something, you know, if we forgive? We need that. We need answers. We need people who can share their lives with us, and people who care. I have been a battler for the rights of people all my life, growing up. As a young child taken away from my parents, because we know, and I knew what was wanting, this is government wanted it in them days, back in the 50s. We had to be assimilated. Forget your culture, Matilda. You know, you have to forget all that. But how can you forget it when you know the families that I grew up around and as all around the place, the suffering of how we're going to cope in an assimilated society. You know, and at the end of the day, our families are wondering why they're attending a funeral. Funerals to Aboriginal people is a way of being there to make sure that soul has been rested and done good, proper way. And a good, proper way is how we do our things. We can't make up for those atrocities, but with people like yourselves here today, looking after the funerals and looking after the friends and looking after how we can move on to make a solution that can help each and every one of us, black and white, to be there. It's no sense having these conferences if we don't come out with a damn good solution. I respect each and every one of you that are here today, and to believe and know that that respect is here sitting in this room as well. I have 4 children 12 grandchildren and 5 great-grandchildren. And the layers of my life with my family will be watched over very, very carefully. And that's what we all need to do. Never turn away someone at your door who's looking for a feed. Sit down to have a yarn. We don't care where it is. You know, it's part and parcel of your life when someone wants to come and say, can I have a yarn with you? It's a good way to go, isn't it? To have a yarn. And that's what Australians like doing. Yarning up, whether it's over a cup of tea, or just sitting down on a log by the river, or just walking through the park, or through the bushland. Go out and explore our beautiful bushland and listen to it. That's what our country is. I want to thank all the people that are here today, but also for the girls and guys who helped put this suicide prevention conference together. I can't tell you how much I have known about this. And it was nearly a year ago that they said to me, Matilda, can you come and do a welcome? I said, why not? And it's been for a long time waiting to come to talk. It's a welcome to country, but we must not ever forget the things of layers of each community and each welcome that you get from every other country in Australia. The pain, the suffering, but we have blessings and we have ceremonies. Ceremonies is part and parcel of a community's life. It helps build the structure and help build those layers of terrible atrocities to come together that we can all help. I welcome you here to the land of my grandfathers, and I welcome you here to this land that just across the road down here had made those terrible atrocities that brought on the stolen generation, that brought on nothing to help us. People here today, you are wonderful to be here to listen and to talk about how you can talk about the issues that's going to stop our youth, it's going to stop our elders. Suicide doesn't stop just because it's a young person. For me, it just goes on and on and on. And how long is a piece of string that we're going to have to put up with it? So thank you very much for having me today. My back was to you there, but it's because this mob up here couldn't hear. Life is going to be better. And that's how I look at it every day. Just get on with your lives and make sure the person who you don't even know who's standing next to you, say hello and make sure that you're feeling good as well. Welcome to the land. Welcome to this beautiful land, my mountains, my rivers. And by the way, that make-believe lake over there don't make me feel any better, but underneath it is a beautiful river and we still appreciate it. Us blacks here, we still know that river is there. It's still here, the Lower Mononglo up the other end. But you know, someone wanted to build a big mud puddle years ago. And they pulled the bath plug up, and what happened? The water went up. So there you go. We can do marvellous things in this country, can't we? But at the end of the day, you enjoy yourselves. And I really mean that. because being sorry, we can only have the sorry when we need to be. But look after each other and look after yourselves. And each and every one of you, pat yourselves on the back for being here today, because you're all making a difference. Thank you very much.
There's a couple of things that I just wanted to highlight from Aunty Matilda's welcome to country, in a very powerful and impassioned welcome to country around solidarity and working together. Aunty Matilda also reminded us that we're all touched by suicide. Aunty Matilda also reminded us that to celebrate lives past and also resilience in those who are struggling with suicidality. Again, an important reminder for us over the next few days. Aunty Matilda, I also wanted to point out the really important part of history in Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander suicide in this country. And I also wanted to welcome all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people here, and particularly the 13 people who are on scholarships, for those of us who are fundraising for those scholarships and undertaking the hike to help suicide. So I really look forward to meeting you and hope that you're able to engage fully in conversations and help us learn the skills and knowledge you have, as well as taking home to your communities skills and knowledge shared in this conference. So welcome. And the final point I wanted to pull out of your welcome to country, Aunty Matilda, is that we need to be solution focused, and what are our take home messages. So I hope that everybody who's presenting and the questions that you ask over the next few days are really solution focused, and what can we do with this knowledge? Not just here's some new great stuff, but what can you take home and how can you use that back in your communities, and starting to think much more on the ground, what can we do to make a difference here? So on behalf of Suicide Prevention Australia and the conference delegates, I just wanted to acknowledge the traditional custodians on the land in which we meet, and extend our respects to elders past and present, and to extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people here today. You all will have noticed as well that over the last few years that we've really been increasing the voice of lived experience, which of course is incredibly important, and who best to help us understand this phenomena than people who are most closely associated with it and closely touched.